Normally I start off my reviews with a skit or something, but since this game is what it is, I want to give a disclaimer. Specifically, I want to target the people who might focus too much on the score, and also more specifically why I'm giving it that score. First off, I want to say don't ever focus on a score. To me, scores are just like the punctuation mark on a review, and they shouldn't ever reflect anything else. Second, I have to say I felt bad in the past when I felt really passionate about art and then someone really ridiculed it. I felt it diminished how much I liked that piece of art. I obviously have grown from that a lot and I don't ever feel that way anymore, but the last thing I want to do is diminish how much someone likes something. For people who love certain things, I want all the fun and all the happiness in the world to you, but this is just my opinion. I'm a different person than you, and I went into this game a much different person. My opinion is not right. There is no right opinion. I have mine, you have yours. With that out of the way, I think it's time I finally got around to experiencing Halo. So I think this review warrants a backstory. Halo was supposed to be the second game I ever reviewed on this channel. But let's just say the experience didn't really go very well. I wasn't having fun, I was really bored. I was playing by myself in a single player experience. I didn't have anyone to play co-op with. And due to a lot of power outs and certain weird save systems and just a lot of bad things happening and me having to replay the final mission over and over again, before I got to that last little bit, I just stopped. And eventually my entire Xbox got wiped and all of the stuff on it got wiped, so I was left out of options and just kind of went on to the next game. And I really wanted to play the first game in the series first and go to the second, the third, and so on. But I didn't have fun, and with all the implications that happened, I had pretty much given up on Halo. Fast forward to just yesterday, as the time I wrote this, not the time I'm filming this, me and my friend Quinn, we played through the entire game of Halo in one sitting. My friend had recommended the game a lot, and we played a lot of co-op for what we had in the time frame, and we just experienced the entire game in one sitting. We had no idea how long it was gonna actually be, but we got through it after a very, very tiring day. And this worked for me because I told myself if I ever play this game again, I need someone there to just sit me down, explain everything that's happening, because the first time I played this, the storytelling just wasn't working for me. I didn't know anything that was happening, and without a person explaining everything, I was completely lost. However, shout out to my friend Quinn. I thank him to death, because without his energy and just his trivia and his assurance that the future games are gonna get a lot better, I was able to not only be interested but excited for the future. And one thing that I'm sure a lot of people are gonna think, and I have to bring up, is how influential this game is to gaming and whatnot, especially for first-person shooters. But when this game came out, I was 4. If I mysteriously got an Xbox and a copy of Halo as a child, I don't doubt that I would have given this game a 9 or a 10. I don't doubt that at all. But that didn't happen. I played this game in 2015 on an Xbox 360 after a plethora of other first-person shooters have inevitably upped the bar for the genre. And I've seen the people who talked about this game on launch or talked about it just when they played it as a kid, and they're so enamored with it, and I love the fact that they have that, but I didn't have that, and I'm not going to pretend to be part of that crowd. I was in no way blown away with this game. I was told Master Chief was the most badass character in gaming ever. He was voted one of the best characters, and he's so badass. But when I played the game, he was just a guy in a suit with a cool voice, and that's it. By the time the game had ended, I didn't feel any different about the guy. And there is more to the story than that. When I played this game again, I learned about Forerunners, Halos, Spartans, the Covenant, the Flood, all these things. But the first time I played this game, all I knew was I'm just a guy in the military shooting at stuff. And I vaguely knew I was destroying a halo, which is a weapon that destroys a lot of life in the galaxy. And I'm a big story guy, and as much as I'm told by other people how much story there is here, I am a fan of storytelling and it actually being told to me. So this game was a turnoff to me. And after playing Destiny and hearing the same argument of how I have to read a website or read other information that's not in the game to get my story, I'm just gonna say this. Reading a website or any other media outside of this game isn't storytelling. It's just a fucking website. To me, it doesn't apply to the game at all. But I don't think this game is going for a story-centered audience. I think that the majority of the game, you're shooting stuff, and you're running around, and you're shooting stuff. And I'll say that the gameplay is a mixed bag for me. I'll give an example. Every time I was impressed with this game, I was soon later turned off. There were plenty of areas I was like, wow, this area looks so unique and it's so cool. But then, immediately, they'd take that area and just put it somewhere else and do little variations of the area, and I'd just have to go through the entire area again, and it was so repetitive. Or I'd be like, wow, this music is so badass, but then the music would shut off and it would be very quiet for long periods of time, and I'd just be sitting there like, where's the music? Or Cortana would say something and it would be really important what she's saying, but I can't even fucking hear her because all I hear are guns and the cries of my enemy, and it just goes over my head. And speaking of bad guys, I'm sorry, they are ugly as fuck in this game. They are the most boring, ugliest things I've had the displeasure of just shooting. By the end of the game, I wanted to mow down anything else. I hated the bad guys in this game. Now, I will say some good stuff about this game. The game ends, and there's a timer, and you gotta make it to a certain place at a certain time. Oh my god, we had literally just a couple seconds to spare. Not even, it was like literally single digits, and we barely made it, and it was, oh my god, it was so rewarding and it was so badass. And the weapons and the guns, I can see why they're praised. They're all badass. Every time I got into a new vehicle or I tried out a new weapon, I was never disappointed. I kept wanting to use every gun at every section. And that is it for me on Halo, guys. I hopefully will return to the franchise. I will continue the next few games. So that being said, I have a lot of Halos to destroy and a lot of things to shoot, and hopefully something of a story to go along with it. And with that, I think I'm going to close this one out. And with that being said, guys, I give Halo Combat Evolved a 5 out of 10. And as always, you can check out my Twitter, my Patreon, all that good stuff. And with that, guys, thank you for watching. As always, I love you guys, and with that, I leave you.
Alright, I'll stop. So, what is going on? I didn't tell you what my second Let's Play would be, because I didn't even know myself. But guess what? I figured it the fuck out. Oh, just as I was doing it, that music kicks in. We are playing Halo Combat Evolved on the original Xbox. This is the original Xbox. This is running on outputting to 1080i, I might add.
Enough to hold my castle. I'm baffled. I thought I would float along, forever be an asshole. I'm still an asshole. I ain't floating. I am coasting closer to the edge. I keep jumping off the bed, hoping I don't go broke. You know, from green to the red. Quarters to bread. more than just friends. Are we moving? Yeah, we're moving. Getting dishonest. Forgot to go to college. Forgot to do the drugs. I left for California before I knew about Bud. Just young and in love with my music. Bullet to my head. I sing the words of this tune. And I will forget you. I will forget you. In a house with surround sound, I found a girl from a small town. Drive a car with the top down, and life is good to you. I get a house with surround sound. I find a girl from a small town.